It's time, y'all. It is time for Credence. This is a nightmare book, okay? I have heard terrible things about this book. Also, full disclosure, I'm pretty sure I've tried to read this when it was on Kindle Unlimited. When I first got my Kindle a couple of years ago, I decided to try to read it and I did not get through like 20 pages, so it's basically fresh in my head. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're not, welcome back. Today's video, we're going to be reading Credence by Penelope Douglas. Now, I like Penelope Douglas. I've heard of her. No, you know that one thing, what's his face says? He's like, I like Lady Gaga. I like some of her songs, but what does she know about cameras? Anyway, I have multiple Penelope Douglas books, and some of my favorites are Penelope Douglas books. So overall, I like the woman, okay? I like what she creates. This book, on the other hand, from what I've heard from it, and if you watched my May TBR video, I did read the back, it sounds like a her father's stepbrother, so her uncle, and his kids. So her cousins, her step cousins, but still. So it seems like a very interesting, weird dynamic to be in, romance wise, because this is a romance book, by the way. Did I mention that? It's a romance book. So we're gonna be reading. I'm gonna read, you're gonna read along if you want, but I'm gonna be putting the page number that I'm on every time I check in. I'll put the little page number in the corner so you kind of know where I'm at if you are doing a read along. If not, enjoy the vibes. Sit back, get a snack, get a crochet project, get something to do, because this one's gonna be a long one, and enjoy the ride. Let's get started. One thing about a Penelope Douglas book that I would bet money on is that there's gonna be a playlist. So we're introduced to the main girl character, Tiernan, which is gonna be hard to say over and over throughout this whole video, but Tiernan, okay? The book starts off with her parents basically KMSing each other together in bed together because her dad was dying of cancer, so they just decided to go out together. And we find out she was kind of raised rich, and her parents were more in love with each other than they were with being parents, so she was kind of lonely. And we meet Maria. I think her name is spelled differently, but I'm just gonna say Maria for the sake of, because I want to. So her nanny Maria basically raised her, so she's cool. And her parents just died, so she's like, okay, what now? And she's 17 and she'll be 18 in a couple months, and she gets this phone call from her dad's stepbrother, so her step uncle. It's really funny the way that it says it in the book. He's like, my brother's, or my he's like, who are you? She's like, who are you? And he's like, your dad's brother. I mean stepbrother. And then she's like, oh, so I have cousins. I mean step cousins. It's like, it feels weird. Like, why are you saying that distinction? I think I know why, but anyway, she gets a call from Vanderberg. What's his name? Who do we meet? Jake Vanderberg. That's the man, okay? The step uncle. He lives in the middle of nowhere, and he calls Tiernan and he's like, hey, your dad left you to me, so you can either get emancipated or you can come live in the middle of nowhere with me and my boys, your step cousins. And she's like, no Wi-Fi? No problem. I'll be there. So that's where we're at. She's about to go live in the woods. Jump scare. Look at my reading, buddy. Oh, we're not gonna do that. He's also enjoying some Credence with me. Is there anything you need to say to the people? Oh, he's eating the string. No, let go. My cat thinks she's a bird. She just climbed up to stand on my shoulder. Ow, that was not necessary. I was just sitting here reading, minding my business, and she comes and climbs up. She climbs up, and then she climbs up to turn around, using my neck as a ladder. And now she's over here. I'll take you to the candy shop. I'll let you eat the lollipop. Basically, they went to the candy shop. So Tiernan decides, yes. Can you hear him purring? Tiernan decides she's gonna go to the woods and live with her, not uncle, but her uncle, okay? And her two cousins, not cousins. And he picks her up, and they're driving to the cabin, and he takes her to the candy shop, and she buys candy. And then they go to the cabin and it's hella secluded, and she meets Noah, which is one of the sons, and he has another son named Caleb, and she hasn't met Caleb yet. But from what everybody's saying, Caleb's a little bit of a recluse and mean. So he was like, don't take Caleb seriously, like don't take it to heart. I'm like, okay. Also, the description of Jake is, ooh, also we find out that Jake has beef with Tiernan's dad, so his stepbrother. So like they don't with each other, you know? They don't like each other. So she's like, why am I here? You know, like, isn't it hard for me to be here because you hated my dad? And he's like, I don't see your dad when I look at you. I see your mother. You look just like your mother. Which I'm a little worried because I feel like that means he has the hots for her mom, her dead mom. And if they get together, then really gross, because he's basically getting with her because she looks like her mom. At this point, she is a minor. BTW. The description of the cabin it sounds super awesome. Somewhere I definitely want to live, so. This book, honestly, so far, it's just making me want to run away to the cabin and be away from everybody. To the cabin I don't have, but to run away to a cabin and be away from people, because it sounds nice. The way they describe it sounds nice. He's reading with me. He's not really reading with me. He wants me to sleep. We have work to do. We have weird love triangles to read about. It's still a triangle if there's 4 people. All these chapters so far have been from Tiernan's POV, but she just said something that is so funny, because like I relate. Plus I've been watching a lot of Game of Thrones, so I thought this was really funny. But she says, I'm not a sociopath. I mean, I cried during the Battle of Winterfell on Game of Thrones, but I don't cry. Not once. When both of my parents die? Question mark. Literally me. Not true. I'm a crybaby. I'll cry if the wind blows in the wrong direction. I'll cry if a ladybug lands on me. So, but I thought it was funny because I'm watching Game of Thrones right now. So I was like, hey, I get the reference. I like what I'm reading and there's a reference and I understand it. So far, we've only gotten Tiernan's POV, and I think we might get other POV because the chapters start with Tiernan's name, so I'm assuming we might get other POV. If that's the case, I'm trying to prop the camera. Stay. You're on my windowsill. So let me check and see. I just want to see if there's other POV. Tiernan. Oh, Jake. What was that? Tiernan. A lot of Tiernan. There were a couple Jakes. So we do flip POVs. Yay! I love when things flip POVs. So, stop. Why do I look shiny? I'm not allowed to like this book, but why am I in love with it? Okay. I think I'm just really, I like Jake. Okay, he's in his 40s. My type. He rides horses. He builds motorcycles. He farms, he grows plants, he shoots things, he lives in a cabin, he doesn't wear a shirt. I like all of these things. Okay, so oh god, I have like, I'm getting a heat rash from tanning today. So it's her first day there, okay, and Jake takes her out on a little horse ride to kind of show her the rest of the property and where everything is at and stuff. And she's like, I know how to ride a horse. And he gets on the horse anyways. So they're riding a horse together, and it's okay. If you could set aside that he's her step uncle, set that aside. It's cute, okay, it's cute, but ignore the other part. It's cute. And I think it's hard because when I'm reading, I put myself in the as the main character, so I'm not a minor, so I'm like, oh, this is fine. This is actually really awesome. I love this. And then I remember that the character is a minor, and I'm like, oh, this is not fine. This is illegal, you know? But they're just riding a horse together. Why is there sexual tension between you and your step-uncle? What is going on? No. Anyway, yeah. We're finally gonna get a chapter with Jake's POV. We just hit chapter 5. So far it's just been Tiernan, but now we're in Jake's POV. But anyway, still haven't met Caleb. Just more like ominous comments about him, but we still haven't met him, which is the other cousin or step cousin, not cousin, I don't know. But we did get a steamy scene of Jake basically sucking a splinter out of Tiernan's hand, like snake bite style. And why was it kinda, no, not in the context it's in, but like if a man's snake, my dad is in the hallway. Tiernan has night terrors. We learned that because she wakes up from a night terror. But yeah, I mean, that's about it so far. Did I say Tannen? I meant Tiernan. Tiernan has night terrors. Say that 5 times fast. Let's see what Jake has to say. Maria, it's not her nanny, it's her mom's assistant. But like her surrogate mom basically, who basically raised her. Maria calls Jake and she's like, I want Tiernan to come home. And Jake's like, too bad. And she's like, you don't know her, I know her. And he's like, she needs to be with family. And he's like, and Maria's like, she needs to be with people who love her. And then he was like, she needs to be with family. And Maria was like, do you know that she wakes up in the middle of the night? Do you know why? Someone you would think as her family, you would know why. And she hangs up. So now Jake knows that Tiernan has night terrors. That's all that happened. And Tiernan's doing chores. So she finally meets Caleb in the shop. It's like the middle of the night. And she tore a hole in her shirt, so she's going to the dryer to get a new shirt. And he walks into the shop. And this line is so funny, because this is me. She goes, it's weird, but I can't move. Literally anytime a man does anything remotely, like, intimate, because Caleb's, like, all, like, right up against her. She's like, it's weird, but I can't move. Okay, queen. That reminds me. Earlier, she was trying to fix the fridge because it was, like, broken. And she was like, I'm gonna try and fix it. In her head, she's like, I'm gonna try and fix it. And if I can't, I'll just buy a new one. Like, that's the beauty of being rich. I was like, okay. Per queen. Per queen. Oh, and her and Noah, her cousin, went to town. And we met, who'd we meet? We met Terrence, which is like the town bougie F-boy, or the up-and-coming motocross star, because they all ride dirt bikes. And we met, I think her name was Cece. Yeah, Cece Diggins, who is basically just jealous of Tiernan because she lives with hot boys. Well, Caleb and Tiernan just met. They just met. And I don't know how I feel about him. I don't know. He gives bad vibes. Yeah. He gives bad vibes. He also doesn't talk. He can, he just hasn't spoken since he was 4. So I'm assuming he's traumatized by something. I'm sure we'll find out. But, bad vibes. I vote Jake. Or Jack. What's his name? Jake? It is Jake. It's Jake. Dude, I can't remember names to save my life. Like, reading books and then having to comprehend enough to tell you about it, I forget everybody's name. I need to get better at that. Tiernan is an easy one to remember because it's stupid. Tiernan just watched Caleb get a BJ in the barn. Ew, gross. She described his man ass. Gross. Also, she says, so Noah and like some of the small town like people, they all ride dirt bikes and they're like all friends together and they're gonna go for a ride, and Noah's like, hey, do you want to come with us? And she like looks over to Jake to give a reason why she can't go because she doesn't want to go with them, and he's like, go have fun, whatever. And then she's like, my stomach sinks, I don't like being around people I don't know, period. I don't like being around people. Same, girl, same. Also, Caleb is so rude. So rude. Okay, what the? Okay, so she was gonna go with Noah on the bikes with his friends, and Caleb walks up and literally rips the helmet out of her hand before she can put it on, and it points to, because he doesn't talk, so he's like pointing to the house, and she's like, and he's like, as in, away, get in the house, you're not allowed to go. And everybody's staring and everybody's giggling, and she starts to feel like she's gonna cry, which is literally me, but she starts to feel embarrassed and she's gonna cry, and she's like, whatever, I didn't want to go anyway. And then she goes inside and cries, and they go without her. It's so sad. I hate Caleb. He's so mean. Okay, I kind of loved that, okay? Tiernan after everybody went off on their dirt bikes, Noah and Caleb, both the boys, and all the friends and stuff, Terrence, I think his name is Terrence. I'm not good with names. Terrence, yeah. Terrence is like the town F-boy. I already talked about him. But they have like, they're trying to keep her away from him because I guess he's like a bad person, whatever. So Tiernan, since she didn't get to go riding with them, she's like, I'm gonna go swim in the pond. So she takes all her stuff. She goes out to the pond and she's swimming away, and guess who pulls up? Terrence, because he left the group because he saw her going into the woods and he followed her. So he jumps in the pond and they're swimming and the tensions are high, but he hasn't really done anything, but he's kind of like flirting with her, and she's like, okay, she's trying to figure out if she wants anything to do with him. And then Noah and Caleb pull up on their dirt bikes, like can pull up, okay, shotgun in hand. Caleb has a shotgun, and immediately they're like, get out of the pond, come get out of the pond, get away from her, you. And he's like, what's the problem, da 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 da. And then Caleb just starts loading the shotgun, and that makes people move. So Noah's like, Tiernan, get on the bike, we're going back to the house. And then she's like, what about Caleb? And Caleb's just loading a shotgun and like standing there ready to basically shoot Terrence if he has to. And I love that. I loved that scene. I love that they pulled up and were like, get out of the pond or I'm gonna shoot you. Woods, middle of nowhere, in the woods style, okay? Oh. Okay. For one, Tiernan had a little meltdown, and now they're kind of all being nice to each other, kind of. She's not being mean anymore, and anyway, but so the whole scene with Caleb showing up with the shotgun and being like, get out of the pond, you know, with the shotgun, and then Noah and her leaving, so she didn't know what happened with Caleb. He's all cut up and he had a bloody nose when he came back, so basically they got in a tussle because he has all these like little cuts on him and dirt and stuff. So, but he wouldn't, like, they weren't talking. Anyway, it's the next day and Caleb still has cuts on him and he's like doing chores, and Jake is like, go get the first aid kit, go help him, apologize for being rude. And she's like, yeah, he does need help, he needs professional help. And then she's like, did you know he threatened that guy with a gun yesterday? And Jake is basically like, you're lucky Caleb found you and not me, because I wouldn't have waited before you left before I killed him. Oh. Why is that attractive? Stop. No, we're not supposed to like him because she's 17. And I get that. I understand that. But if it were me, I'm 23. If it were me, yes ma'am, yes ma'am. We did learn more about Terrence. He's a menace to society, and he basically has like a roster. Him and his friends tried to like bang all the girls in town multiple times, and they have like a tally, so he wasn't in the pond for any good reason, okay? And like they all know that. But anyway, that's what I need. I need someone who would kill a man for me, you know what I mean? Let's keep reading. We got a helping clean wound scene. Yay! Yay! I love when my favorite tropes end up in books. Okay, when I'm reading, and I don't care who's who, I don't care if they might be related. It's one of my favorite tropes. Cleaning wounds. I love it. It's intimate. It's cute. It's sweet. Okay. Also, page 150, we finally get Noah's POV. I think this is the first chapter with Noah's POV. So far, we've only got Tiernan's, and I think we got Jake for like a chapter, but Noah's POV. Okay. Noah's basically like the blonde, like cut off shirts, like shirts with the big cut off to show like your abs and your arms, and he's like, he's ripped. They're all ripped, but he's like blonde hair, blue eye, goofy funny boy. That's who Noah is. And we got a chapter of Noah's POV, and it was okay. I don't know, I'm not a fan of him. He gives like frat boy vibes, like blonde, blue-eyed frat boy, and I don't really, not my type. Jake, on the other hand, he's older, he's like lumberjack vibes. It's my vibe. I don't really like Noah, but I'll indulge him. He's supposed to be like the goofy one. Meh. I keep saying Jake. and I keep having to check because I keep thinking it's Jack. Anyway, look at my little reading companion, even though she's all the way down there. But we're on chapter 10. We're back to Tiernan's POV. And we're getting a good chunk of the way through. I don't know if I already said this, and if I didn't, I'll say it now because they just said it again in the book and it reminded me. But their mother is in prison. Because Tiernan was like, where's your wife? And like, where's Caleb and Noah's mom? And he's like, oh, she's in prison for like the next 10 to 15 years. We don't know what she did. Oh, they're... Why are they kissing? Why are they kissing? Jake and Tiernan are kissing, like, before any of the other ones. Like, okay, because there's Tiernan, Noah, and Caleb, okay? Or wait, I'm sorry. Tiernan is the girl, and then there's Noah, Caleb, and Jake. Noah and Caleb are like her age, so it's normal. Jake is like 40 something, which, my type, but in this book she's 17. Why are they kissing? Also, it's so weird because the convos, she'll be like, no, Uncle Jake. Ew! But then when she like talks about finding him attractive, she's like, we're not really related, step uncle. Ma'am, you refer to this man as your uncle. Ew! And gross, 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 gross. Also, she's gonna be 18 in a couple weeks, but like, I don't care. Gross. It'd make more sense for, okay, it would be better if it was Noah or Caleb because they're like of age with her, like the same age as her, but they're still like related, but they're not blood related, but they're related, and I don't understand why make this a factor. Like, you couldn't have had her living there for some other reason other than family relations. Why did you have to make it weird by making them step related? Like, why did you have to do that? It's so weird. Anyway, we're almost 200 pages in, and we've got some tension release with Jake and Tiernan. I don't know. I think Jake's attractive, and then he opens his mouth, and I'm like, ew, ick. Oh, gross. Like, what did he just say? Yeah. No. Okay, so there's this like whole thing about winter coming. Very Jon Snow, but like when winter happens, they're in Colorado, when winter happens, the cabin gets snowed in for like months. So they're all like, they buy a bunch of groceries and they kind of just ride out the snow. But they keep making comments about like, no one can save you when winter comes. Like, what the fuck? I literally can't with this book. Also, this book has taken over my entire life. I was swimming earlier, and I was swimming, and all I could think about was the chapter I left off on. They were swimming in the lake, fishing, and like by the waterfall, and I was like thinking about the book while I swam. So this book has taken over my mind, my life. I have dreams about it. I need to finish it so I can be over it. But anyway, yeah, the whole winter thing is weird. It's like have your fun now, because come winter, you're just locked in a cabin with us. Like, okay, scary. Can you imagine being locked in a cabin with 3 men for like multiple months? I mean, depending on the men, it could be kind of fun, but scary. These men, scary. Okay, that was really cute. So she's in the car, she's in the truck with Caleb, or with Noah and Caleb. Noah's driving, she's in the middle, and Caleb's in the passenger seat because it's like a bench truck. And they hit the brakes because they almost crash into another car that pulls out in front of them, and Caleb throws his arm in front of her to keep her from going through the windshield. Is that so cute? He's so mean to her. He never talks to her. Well, he doesn't talk at all. He's mute, but he never communicates with her. He's mean to her. But then when the car almost crashes, he's the one throwing his arm over her to save her. So he's in love with her, obviously. So Tiernan's going back to LA for the funeral. I didn't know that was gonna happen. She literally got on a flight and went back to LA for the funeral, and she like told Jake and everybody like, I don't know if I'm gonna be back, like there's a lot to do. What? Why would you even go? Like, she hated her parents, or I guess they didn't love her, so like why would you go? It's my birthday. Well, it's Tiernan's birthday, and they're going out to town for dinner or something, but convenient that she's now officially turning 18 right before winter starts and they're all gonna be stuck in a cabin together. Also, I definitely got sunburned today. Oh. Noah bought her a t-shirt and a hat with like the town logo and like the Vanderburg logo on it, which is cute. Jake got her a pink camouflage compound bow, cute. And Caleb made her a leather belt with like etched in the view of her bedroom, like on the belt or something. Yeah. So it's night 1 of winter. I just finished the chapter for the first night of winter. Tell me why there is a word that rhymes with schmorgy. Also, look how, like, I am so sunburned. Look at my face compared to my arm. Embarrassing. I got really burned today. Why is there a family schmorgy happening? And we're just supposed to read the rest of the book like that didn't just happen? How many more pages are there? Like another 200 pages. Pretending that we didn't just do all of that together. This book is wild. I know, no peace. I have to read this line to you because it's weird. I crush her mouth with mine, eating her breath. Eating her breath. Save me. Guess who Tiernan just lost her virginity to? You have 3 options. Caleb, Noah, or Jake. Caleb, the really mean mute, who's also nice to her sometimes. Noah, the frat boy, blonde hair, blue eye. Both of them normal of age to her. Or Jake, the 40-something-year-old man who is basically her uncle but not related to her. Who do you think it was? Jake. Jake is so fucking dramatic. But he literally me, so it's awesome. He says, I just want to make sure she's alright. If she's crying, I'll fucking kill myself. Literally me. So dramatic. One thing about Penelope Douglas is she's gonna write a book you can't put down. Is it gonna have some red flags? Yeah. Is it gonna be about topics that are not good? Yeah. Are you gonna read the whole thing front to back? Yeah. I'm gonna have a hard time putting it down? Yeah. And that's what I love. She's just here to entertain. It doesn't have to make sense. It just has to entertain. So, Caleb literally throws... Okay, anyway, there's beef because of Tiernan and Jake cooking up. Caleb and Noah are pissed about it, basically. And they're at breakfast the next morning. And Caleb literally dumps his water off the table and it lands in her lap. And she stands up and he fucking flicks a spoonful of oatmeal on her face. Jake and Noah are like, what's wrong with you? You know, like they're yelling at him. And Tiernan's like, it's okay. It's how babies communicate. Did you want more oatmeal? Is that what you were trying to say? More, Caleb. The word is more. Like, gagged. Gagged. She ate that one. Gagged him. Like, gagged. That was so much better than Jake kicking his ass. Like, for her to be like, it's okay, it's how babies communicate. Did you want more oatmeal, Caleb? Like, also I hate Caleb. I hate him so much. He's such an ass. A couple of pages ago, he literally wrote the word slut with Sharpie on Tiernan's forehead because of what she did with Jake. I'm not Team Caleb anymore. So we get a cute little like Noah POV chapter, which I love because he's just a little sweetheart. Okay, but I mean that's a lie, but like whatever. So we get a POV from him, and at this point, I don't remember the last update I did, but at this point Jake is not at the house. He's at like a little like hunting cabin they have far out, and he's fishing or whatever, and it's still winter, so it's just her and Caleb and Noah at the house. So the first night they're there, Tiernan's screaming in her sleep like usual, and Noah hears her for the first time, so he goes to her door, and I'm like, oh, we're gonna get a cute little nightmare cuddle sesh. And then Caleb comes barging down from his room right past Noah and into her room, and Noah's like, so he follows, and Caleb just climbs into bed with her like it's something he's been doing, and he was like half asleep, like he heard her, woke up, ran down, got in bed with her, and just like laid with her. Cute. But he's been doing it this whole time and not telling her. He's being an asshole during the day, but then he's doing that at night, and she has no idea because she's still asleep. So kind of cute. But Noah saw the whole thing happen, so we kind of got it from like his POV. But it's kind of cute, okay? Maybe I do like Noah, maybe I like his character, whatever. But the cute moment gets ruined because the barn catches on fire and they all have to go save the animals and get the animals out. Well, in the process, Tiernan cuts her arm and Noah's like helping her out of the barn. And then Caleb swoops in, takes Tiernan from Noah and tells Noah, go finish like cleaning up the barn mess now that we got the fire out. And then he takes Tiernan inside to help her. So basically, Caleb's having a little bit of a turning point, and he's starting to kind of be like cute and like nice and a little obsessive, but maybe not mean anymore. I don't know, but maybe I do like Caleb just a little bit, just a little tiny bit. And another note, all of them, like, do they sleep in their jeans? I'm confused because every time there's like a night scene or something happens at night, everybody's shirtless in their jeans. And I'm like, do you sleep in your jeans? Do you never take your jeans off? Like, everybody's always in their jeans with or without a shirt, but always in their jeans day and night. So that's, if I ever met Penelope Douglas, I think that's what I would ask her is, in Credence, why are they always in their jeans? They're never not in their jeans, even when they're sleeping. So chapter 23, I'm gonna describe in as little words as possible. Weird. Okay. In order of the chapter, weird, possible UTI, gross brothers in a threesome, icky, icky. Siblings should not be involved in a threesome. No. That's all I have to say about chapter 23. Okay, so we're at like a weird part where basically Jake and Noah are like, we're backing off because Caleb's in love with you. But then Caleb also like is really mean to her, like really mean. Destroys the furniture piece she's been working on for weeks. And she has like trauma with her parents because every time she would make anything, her parents would throw it away and like never say anything about it. So she was already feeling stupid for even working on this stupid ugly dresser she's doing. And he fucking destroyed it, like broke it into a million pieces, set it on fire because he was mad at her, okay? And then he storms off to like go hunting in the winter. Whatever. Deal with yourself. I'm so over Caleb. Then she's like, okay, I'm leaving in April. Like, F all of you, I'm leaving in April. And Jake and Noah are like, well, Caleb loves you. Like, he just only communicates with temper tantrums. Like, but he loves you. You can't leave. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Is Caleb 5 or 17? Because last time I checked, he's supposed to be a teenager. So, what is going on? He's not a child. Like, he's so traumatized. His mother left him in a car for 4 days when he was little. That's why he doesn't talk. Okay. Therapy. That is not an excuse for you to treat people like shit. I hate that. But I have to remember this is a Penelope Douglas book, so it's basically like a glorified Wattpad story where nothing makes sense ever. And it's just mostly hot guys and smut. So, but I hate that. He just communicates in tantrums, but he loves you. No, no, get help. Literally get help. Anyway, Tiernan is mad and she's ready to leave, which me too. I would have ready to leave a long time ago. But it seems also like since I've updated, it's just been like her taking turns with Noah, Jake, and Caleb over and over, and it's just like so weird. Like, the idea of this book is so weird. Like, why did they have to add the family element? It could have been literally anything else. It could have been like she got an Airbnb in Colorado and it was 3 random guys. Like, why does it have to be, why are they like not family but family? It's so weird. It makes all of the steamy scenes like awkward and disgusting. Also, they're so cringe. Like, I've read good steamy scenes before and these ones are just cringe. I'm like, why would you say that? Why would you do that? Gross. Cringe. Gross. But it's entertaining, so I am getting through it. I think we have like 100 pages left, so the home stretch. I'm assuming she gets with Caleb in the end because that's how these work. But as of right now, Tiernan is Caleb's #1 hater. Number 2 hater. I'm the #1 hater. Caleb's been gone for a while, like just in the woods doing his thing. And Tiernan goes to his room and starts looking around, and she realizes that all the books on his shelves, he uses as like journals, as like diaries, so he writes in them. So she starts going through them, and she finds out he's been helping her through her nightmares from his journals, and he finds out that like he marks down like every time she smiles and like laughs and how he really likes her and blah blah. And like, that's cute and all, but he's still really mean, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But so she reads all these and she's like crying and she's reading all them, and then she's like, okay. So she goes into Noah's room and she's like, let's go get Caleb. So I think we're about to get into a fun little adventure of going into -degree winter in Colorado, deep into the woods to go find Caleb. So I'm kind of excited for the little adventure, because these last couple of chapters have been kind of boring, just moping around the house. So let's go get Caleb. We've gotten to that part of the book where they say the title of the book in the book, which Penelope Douglas does this a lot, but this chapter is in Tiernan's POV. It says, I dropped my eyes to the thin tattoo down the back of his neck, between his ear and his spine. She's talking about Caleb, BTW. Oh, we found Caleb, by the way. I don't remember the last time I updated you, but we found Caleb. We went through the woods. It was raining. We found Caleb in the little cabin. He's fine, y'all. He's fine. He looks a little wild. He's got scruff, but like, he's fine. So, she says, I dropped my eyes to the thin tattoo down the back of his neck, between his ear and his spine. So like, ear, spine, like right here. Credence. I'm close enough to read it now. It means belief as to the truth of something. Okay? Anyway, page 448. We got like 50 pages left, and we finally got the title mentioned. So, yay. This book is terrible, okay? I was thoroughly entertained, but it's terrible. You know what I mean? Like, it's like a bad movie that you can't stop watching. Oh my god. Oh my. Okay, so at this point, Tiernan and Caleb are like together, I guess. I don't know, whatever, they're like together. And all's right in the world. The snow is clear, we're going back to town. It's a good vibe, okay? Maria, the assistant that's like basically Tiernan's mom, is coming to visit. Like, it's a good vibe, okay? So they go to town, she's in the candy store, Caleb's with her, and they're walking out, and Cece Diggins, which is the girl that Caleb was with in the beginning, and like, she's also kind of like just really mean. She's like, she was in the beginning a bunch. I don't know if I talked about her, but anyway, she was with Caleb at one point. So, listen to this. So it's her and Caleb leaving the candy shop, okay? Tiernan and Caleb. He moves to open the door for me, but stops, his eyes rising and looking over my shoulder, the color draining from his face. I follow his gaze. Cece Diggins strolls past us, her steps slowing and her eyes locked on Caleb. But my stare falls to her stomach, her pregnant stomach. Caleb is a baby daddy. Stop. Stop. Dude, there are literally like 30 pages left in this book. I love the drama. I live for the drama. So, okay, a lot happened in one chapter. Holcomb, which is like Terrence or whatever, the dude from the beginning, he broke into the cabin. You find out the fire that happened in the barn was because of him. And he basically wants to steal bikes and like mess with Tiernan. So anyway, she fights him off, whatever. They get arrested, okay? But before they showed up, Tiernan packed a suitcase and she was gonna go meet Mira at the airport and go stay in a motel and like go back to LA. She's basically leaving because of the whole pregnancy thing with Caleb, okay? Also find out it's not Caleb's baby, it's Terrence's baby. So we're clear there. But when they show up from the whole home invasion thing, she has her suitcase by the door because she was like planning on leaving when they showed up. And Caleb sees the suitcase, and instead of like mending the relationship since they both said I love you, he just literally picks her suitcase up and puts it in the car that Mira rented and was like, go. Well, because he doesn't talk, so he just like put the suitcase in the car and opened the passenger side door for her and was just like dead in the face, like, leave. Like, oh, okay. Okay, so that's what she did. She got in the car and left with Mira. And I think we have like 2 chapters left, so I don't really know, or like 1 chapter left, so I'm kind of confused. Like, what? I finished the book. That's such a weird ending, okay? So she goes back to LA with Mira, okay, for 6 weeks. Then she's on the beach and Noah shows up and Noah's like, hey Tiernan, and she's like, what are you doing here? And then he's like, oh, I've been here for 6 weeks. And she's like, but I've been here for 6 weeks. And he's like, yeah, I needed some alone time too. Anyway, hi. And so then she's like, come live in my house. Don't spend all this money on a hotel. I'm rich. So he moves into the house and they go back to the house and Jake's there. So you're like, oh, okay, so Jake's also visiting, weird. And then she's in her room and then she looks out the window and there's a tire swing, which there's a little part in the beginning that I probably didn't talk about where there's a tire swing. Her dad put a tire swing up, but it wasn't for her, it was for her mom because they were like obsessed with each other and they didn't pay attention to Tiernan at all. So she never got to swing on the tire swing. So when they died, Mira cut the tire swing down as like a symbol of like the tire swing, you know what I mean? So there's a tire swing now. So she's like, weird. So she goes outside and Caleb's out there with the tire swing, so he put it up for her. Cute. And they're swinging and he talks for the first time in the entire book, and he's basically like, I'm happy wherever you're happy. I don't want to be anywhere without you. I'm sorry it took so long for me to figure my stuff out, but I'm healed now. So he took those 6 weeks to heal. I don't know. Book's over. That's literally it. So there's an epilogue, but I don't want to read the epilogue. I would hate reading the epilogue because it's always about them getting pregnant or having a baby, and I'm like, I feel like it ruins it, you know what I mean? Now, there is a bonus scene. Oh, this bonus scene, it says, takes place after they bring him back from the cabin. So there's like a whole, yeah, I don't really need to read it. But, yeah, that's the end of the book. Weird. Oh, weird. Really weird. Interesting concept. Maybe didn't need to make it into a book. It was feeling very 16-year-old wrote it on Wattpad. None of it really makes a lot of sense, and all of the steamy scenes, if you really think about it, oh, she's using her scratching post. We can't be mad. Do you want to see the scratching post I just got her? It's an orange. Anyway, we can't, I mean, oh, so the steamy scenes don't really make sense. Like, if you're really paying attention and you try and visualize the positions and like where they're standing, it's really like hard. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And then like one moment you're like, wait, I thought she was standing up but she's sitting, but like it's confusing. It's kind of like a 16-year-old wrote it on Wattpad. And the other thing that I have to say about this book is she has a habit of like the white room effect of like not really explaining what the room looks like. So when you're picturing things, it kind of is just like a blank room. Cringe, weird, entertaining, definitely. A lot of some crazy topics. There is a trigger. Oh my god, my cats are fighting. The girls are fighting. The girls are fighting. There is a difficult topic / like trigger warning section in the beginning, so be sure to read that. But yeah, weird. I could have gone my whole life without reading it, but it was fun. It was fun and entertaining. If you're just looking for a silly little fun and entertaining, doesn't make any sense, but you're gonna giggle and you're gonna be like, what? And you're gonna be like, oh, okay, then read this book. So I think I give it like a 2 out of 5 for the very weird tropes, and 5 out of 5 for entertainment. I was thoroughly entertained. I literally didn't put it down and like till I finished it. So yeah, and that's it. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel, okay? Comment down below if you've read this book, or if you're planning on reading it, or what you think about it, either based off your reading or based off my video. Give me your thoughts, and give me your thoughts on Penelope Douglas. I'm curious. I feel like every time I make one of these videos, you guys tell me more about the author than I know, so it's kind of cool to learn. But yeah, other than that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!